All right, welcome back, guys, to another ABL video. Today, we're going to be previewing the NFC Championship matchup with Marlon from Rams Talk.
Yes,
If there,
sir. What's up, guys?
if there's anyone who knows the Rams better than, there's no one that knows the Rams better than him. Subscribe, check us out at ablsports.com, posting articles several times a week. So, Marlon, first time guest of the program. We will be like I said, we're previewing the NFC Championship. The Seahawks at home, 2.5 point favorite. Just initial thoughts on this game. We're going to do our predictions at the end in about 10, 15 minutes, but just initial thoughts of like what could be a problem for the Rams that the Seahawks pose.
So I think the way with our defense is, I think if our defense stays consistent, Jared Verse plays aggressive, we send the blitz. I haven't seen a lot of Chris Shula. I'm sure you know of him, our defensive coordinator. He's a little, we're a very zone heavy team, but
Yeah.
I like when we send blitz. We really stopped a lot of fourth down stops against the
I think the
Bears.
Steelers know of him.
Yeah, a couple,
Yeah. A couple job openings know of him for
for
sure.
sure. Yeah. And, there was a couple three and outs where we just busted through the line. We sent, I think, five or six, I believe. It was really good. I think some keys to win for us is just going to be don't let K9 run the ball. You know,
Oh yeah.
I think you let that guy run the ball, especially with Charbonnet being out. I mean, that's a huge factor. I think the fact that Charbonnet's out makes a bigger difference than most people think. Although we saw how much they did against the Niners with just Kenneth Walker, but I do want to say that is a very beat up Niners team. Imagine Fred Warner's there, I'm not too familiar with their defense on who was fully injured, but you know, Rams
Everyone was
house.
injured. Like literally, I mean, everyone got injured. But I mean, here's the thing. Like my thing is like, and this could work for them or against them. We've seen both cases of this. Like for them, we worked. Giants in 2011, wild card
Mhm.
team, pretty tough matchups, made the Super Bowl. But with the Rams, I mean, they're coming off very intense games, and this goes back to Week 16 when they played the Seahawks, and then they
Yeah.
go to the Falcons, tough competitive game they lost, and the Cardinals in Week 18. I know they ended up pulling away at the end, but it was close in the first half. And then you go in the wild card round against the Panthers, a tough match. I mean, it was the biggest game at the Panthers Stadium in the past 10 years. And last week they play the Bears, the biggest game for the Bears in the past 10 years, besides the Packers game a couple weeks ago. But the good news is, though, wild card round, they won a high scoring matchup where they had to outscore their opponent to win. And last week they won a low scoring defensive matchup, so they can win both ways. But now going to the Seahawks, I mean, last time when they beat the Rams, they beat them in a high scoring matchup, which is typically not the way they want to do it. And I know everyone's going to be like, "Oh, well, the Seahawks haven't played anyone the past couple of weeks." So, they played the Niners last week, had the week before that off. Played the Niners again, they beat them both times. In week 18, it was not as close as the score indicated. I mean, they had two missed field goals, like a missed touchdown, whatever. And then they beat the Panthers like by a lot, but kind of controlled the whole game. So people are like they haven't played. Well, they played playoff teams. They're just dominating them.
Yeah, so I see what you're saying. I think when you come back to week 16, I believe when it was when we played the Seahawks the second time, you look at how like on fire our offense was. You could see we were up 16. I was talking to my Seahawks friends the whole fourth quarter, third quarter,
Oh yeah.
saying what I had to say, and um I thought it was gonna be a way closer game. I mean, obviously it ended down to the wire and the Seahawks ended out with the win.
Mhm.
Credit to our special teams. But I
Yeah.
do want to say that I also believe our special teams has gotten better since we fired
Your
Blackburn, I believe his
coordinator,
last
yeah.
name is. Yeah, and then we hired I don't know how to say his last name, but his name's Ben, and he was from the Broncos. He was number seventh in punting and
Mhm.
other special teams factors last year. He's a great special teams coach,
Yeah.
and I think that's got to be considered, especially with the fact that what we saw in the Falcons game. Obviously, we struggled there in the first half, but we started to pick it up, and I think the thing with our team is Sean McVay has so much experience
Oh
that
yeah.
I think people are going to underestimate that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think it's going to be a really close game, but I think if special teams is locked in, we play how we played against the Bears defensively, and I don't think Stafford. I mean, I don't know if you watched the press conference after, excuse me, but there was a bunch of mistakes that were made. I mean, we had the last drive, we stopped them with the big hit from Quentin Lake,
Oh yeah.
when he
That
tried
was
to hurdle
big.
over. Yeah, and then we got the ball right back. Kyron Williams runs it up, gets about 12-yard gain, it was bad. We got a first down, and then McVay ran the ball 3 times in a row, and that led to literally nothing. We had to punt the ball. It was a 33-yard punt from I think the 30 or the 25. Like,
Yeah, it
you
was
know,
just not good sequence of special. Like it's just yeah, but here's the thing. I have a weird feeling that special teams won't be an issue for the Rams in this game because here's the thing. McVay. I mean, I don't want to count Andy Reid in this because it's kind of like when Belichick was in the NFL, you just can't count them. But outside of like, I mean, you can all also make an argument for Andy Reid. McVay's the best coach in the NFL. That's kind of my point. And then
yeah,
that like once Reid retires, McVay is the. I mean, and he's still one of the youngest, which is still absurd. And I think a good way to evaluate a coach is their coaching tree. All the McVay
youngest to
coaches
win a
are.
Super Bowl,
Oh
youngest
yeah,
coach ever.
yeah, and he's won a Super Bowl too and made one. And if it weren't for Jared Goff, probably maybe two Super Bowls. But going back to like the game, I do think their special teams will be buttoned up, which will be a big factor. But I also want to bring up something important. So Sam Darnold this year, 25 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. You remove the two Rams games, he's got 23 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. So out, I mean, and even last year too, the two games against the Rams, he played like pretty bad with. So that is why I'm like, the Rams, they have something on, like they're able to do something that every other defense for the past 2 years has not been able to do. Because Sam Darnold, I think it's, say what you want about him with the Jets and the Panthers, the last 2 years, winning 14 games the last two seasons, that's no mistake.
He's phenomenal. I got to give credit to him. I can't say he's a bad QB at all. I just think there's something about this Rams team, man. I don't know what it
Oh
is.
yeah. They were my
I
Super Bowl pick before the year, actually. I had them representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. But my only but I want to do one more thing about Sam Darnold, then talk about the Rams. It was Sam Darnold, just kind of the last thing. I don't think it's any coincidence that last year he goes to the Vikings, 14 wins. Everyone's like, well, it's the roster. Vikings this year, 9-8 with JJ McCarthy. Like this year with the Seahawks, goes to the Seahawks. He got 14. Everyone's like, it's the roster. They were 10-7 last year. And they were playing better teams this year. And they went 4-2 in the division this year, which is the toughest division in football. I don't think it's indisputed. But kind of going to the Rams, which is the one thing I worry about, and this is what favored the Eagles last year in their Super Bowl run. The Eagles last year peaked at the right time. Like it was
Yeah,
funny that Rams game, ironically enough, that Sunday night football game in week I believe 14 or 15 it was last year, really was the coming out party for the Eagles. The Rams from about week 5 to week 12 looked like the best team in the NFL by far. They looked like one of like a top 20 team of all time. But the only worry about the Rams is they are not playing their best football right. Like I'm sorry, but with all due respect to the Panthers, you can lose in the regular season. That's fine. I allow a loss or two in the regular season, but they should have beat the Panthers much more than they did. And the Bears, I don't know if it's the Pope or what it is in Chicago. I'll excuse that game, but the Seahawks are playing their best football right now, which is my only worry.
yeah. So I think the thing is, you look at this. It's a number one offense, number one defense, but you got
Hmm.
Matthew Stafford.
Oh
I
yeah,
think he's fifth in all time in
still
game
top
winning
five
records.
quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL for sure. Um, at least this year. I think
Oh yeah,
last year's a
this
little bit debatable. But one thing I got to say, man, is you look at this Rams Seahawks matchup. I have it down. The Rams scored two more touchdowns this year in their two meetings. They have about 830 yards, and the Seahawks have about 829 total yards against them. There was 57 points from Seattle in total and 58 points from the Rams. This is a very close matchup,
oh
more than
yeah,
people think. And, you get to see them twice a year. So, Sean McVay, he has that relevancy and he has that understanding of this team more than any other team, probably other than the Niners, I'd say, even though they got blown up. But,
yeah,
you know, I just think that this is going to be closer than most people think. I'm seeing a lot of Seattle fans saying blowout, blowout. I think it's
oh
going
I
to
don't
come
think
down
it's
to the
gonna be a
wire.
blowout now.
I think I think if you let Stafford sling that rock, man, I don't see the Seahawks winning it. Again, I got a Rams hoodie on. I'm a
Yeah.
Rams friend. I'm biased, but
And also, there's one more thing. Puka Nacua. They couldn't guard him last time. I mean, it's the best defense in the NFL. You couldn't guard him.
people don't understand too. We didn't have our starting safety. Kevin
Mhm.
Dotson went out. Who's the starting right guard. We can't run the ball as well without him. We had Justin Dedich at number 67 on right guard. He has
Mhm.
been he's been all right. I mean, we had
Yeah.
Rob Havenstein
Didn't
as
play that
well
much,
that went
yeah.
out, and we had Warren McClendon come in. He's been he's been solid. He's done his job. Justin Dedich, on the other hand, has been kind of a 50-50. You never know what you're going to get out
And
of
you'll
him.
have
But
Adams for this game too, which I don't believe you had him in the game at
we,
Seattle.
yeah, we didn't.
And he's
So,
been big in the playoffs. I know like he's the stats aren't like the best, but I mean the playoffs not about stats. It's kind of about what you do.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, no, it's your
he,
team's healthy. It's
he
two
actually
healthy
just
matchups.
Yeah, and he just sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. He just reached 1,000 postseason yards actually. So I think
Okay.
even with only I believe he had 3 receptions, but that last one that he had, the toe drag across for the
Oh
first
yeah.
down, that was huge.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you're going against the Rams, you're gonna think Puka Nakua, we got to blanket him. Devontae Adams, blanket him. But that leaves room for other things. I think McVay was in 11 personnel against the Bears, and I know we're talking about the Seahawks, but I think if we run 13 personnel a lot more, Kyron can run the ball. I mean, obviously
He
these are
was
all,
big against the Bears. I don't think you win that game without Kyron. Like he
yeah,
was
87 yards, 2 touchdowns.
yeah.
Puka Nakua is a great blocker too. People don't see that. I
And it's
mean,
not even about the 87 yards. It's like instead of those 3 and 4 yard rushes, he was getting 5, 6, 7, 8 yard rushes,
mhm.
like 9 yard rush. Like he, it's like those are the difference in the playoffs. Can you turn a 4 yard rush into a 6 yard rush? Like
Yeah,
stuff like that. So I mean, it's been great. And also talking about the first two games these teams have played this year, I don't really have too much to say about it because they're like, well, if Jason Myers makes that field goal for the Seahawks in LA, they go undefeated at the Rams. Well, if the Rams don't have a special teams disaster and like that crazy 2 point conversion, they beat the
yeah,
Seahawks in Seattle. So I think those games just kind of cancel each other. Like, because I'm going to be honest, I think outside of Sam Darnold, the Seahawks outplayed the Rams in LA. And I think outside of special teams, which I know is a third of the game, the Rams really did outplay the Seahawks in Seattle.
exactly. I mean, we got the ball, I believe, in OT, and we scored on, I think, the
Oh, like
second
three
first
plays, you
down
scored
we
like
got.
that. It was crazy.
Yeah, Puka Nakua about like 40-yard rush or run from the pass, a little dig concept right up the middle. He's already up three, ran up the whole seam. I don't think any head coach would go for it because you really think about it. Like, think about if McVay decided to go for it, because
Yeah.
any team, I mean, it's smart
They
football.
had to go for it. Like they had to. They weren't
Yeah.
getting the ball back if they didn't. I completely agree. Normally, and funny enough, I'm not for doing that stuff because I'm like, if you're the better team at home, like you shouldn't have to go for it. You should be able to get the ball back. But no one was able to stop Puka and Stafford that night. I mean,
hmm
Stafford, he looked like he probably had the. I know he's had a lot of good games, but that was one of the best I've seen him play in years.
And the most likely offensive player of the year, which will be JSN. I do want to say our corner in the first game, Emmanuel Forbes, who's been, he was on the Commanders, he was a first
Yeah,
round
he was
draft pick.
considered a bust. Yeah,
Yeah, he got cut, and look what happened. I mean, he's
yeah,
been great for the Rams. I mean, obviously, there's some things. I think when he got burned by Tet, Offensive Rookie of the Year, we
yeah.
saw him give up 2 touchdowns. I don't know if they were in zone in that time, so it couldn't have not been his fault. But at the same time, you match up him against JSN in the first round at SoFi. He held him to only 30 yards with 6 targets. That's a
Oh
big
yeah.
deal.
And also, I mean, the Rams are kind of reminding me of the Patriots under Belichick, in terms of like, the Emmanuel Forbes considered a bust, goes to the Rams. All of a sudden, I don't want to say he's a CB1, but he is a solid cornerback too. Like
hmm
Von Miller, I know this a couple years ago, but Von Miller, like everyone said he's old. Go to the Rams, big part in the Super Bowl. So just
Yeah.
stuff like that, where it just seems like kind of like I don't know. It's just the Rams just kind of make. I mean, I think it's a big part of the culture too, but they just seem to make people better. So we're gonna kind of move to our picks on this game. I know your pick's probably obvious by your background, but I just kind of want you to explain, give a little score prediction and like why you think they're gonna win.
Okay, I'd say think I don't think it's going to be super high scoring. I think it's
Yeah,
going
me
to be a
neither.
little bit more defensive. I wouldn't say I'd say it's in the medium range, closer to like the Bears, maybe a little higher. I'd probably say 31-24 Rams.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
I'm gonna go Seahawks here because the home field, and just a variety of other stuff. I think the Seahawks win this. I mean, I think the Rams have just played too many physical games. I mean, I've seen people saying if the Seahawks win, it's going to be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think this game has a chance of being a blowout. I'm going to say like 24-20. something around there. I think the Seahawks win. And also another interesting thing, we're gonna actually get to see Darnold's oblique because against the Niners, he didn't throw a pass over 10 yards.
Yeah, he only had, I believe, 127 yards with about one touchdown thrown to JSN, that little toe drag. But you look at the Rams game against the Bears too. Stafford, same thing. I mean, he had almost double the yards. He had 258 yards, but or almost 100 more yards plus. But he had zero touchdowns thrown. It was basically a rushing game the whole time, except for the last drive. We pushed down the field. I didn't really like the play calling, but I just see the Rams coming out better. I don't. Obviously, home field advantage is huge. Lumen
Yeah.
gets
And it's
really
gonna be the
loud.
loudest it's been probably since the NFC Championship was the Packers. It's their biggest game.
Yeah, I mean, the Seahawks haven't been here since what, 2014, I believe. So it's
Yeah,
like,
something crazy like that. So, but that's the thing, the Rams have been here. So,
mhm.
yeah, I mean that advantage kind of goes to the Rams. But thank you, Marlon, for joining us. We're gonna try to make this kind of a thing where we do this often. His Instagram Rams Talk. I'm gonna leave everything in the bio in the
Or,
description. Thank you
hey, I
for
appreciate
joining us.
you
And
for
this,
having me on, man.
no problem. This game's gonna be the Super Bowl. This game's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I think whoever wins this wins the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
I don't see the AFC being the strongest here, of course. The NFC West is the strongest in the league and the whole NFC in general.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, I appreciate you for having me on. Go Rams, man. Come
All
on.
right. Thank you. All right.